10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Whack Whack Attack. Today is February 16th, and we've got some interesting stuff happening, so let's get started. The first thing is we have an update from Geth. So Geth Holy Man says Geth version 1.11.0 is out. This is a major release containing over 300 pull requests. Our original intention was to release 1.11 with path-based storage, but eventually we decided it was time to make the release without waiting for PBSS to be merged, so we can get back to steady release schedule. Nevertheless, it contains features and bug fixes galore. So path-based storage, PB storage is a way for Geth to auto prune, the kind of the way that Besu does. But here in this update, there's a whole lot of stuff going on, so you can definitely have a look. So let's have a look at some of this stuff. So their version, as I said, is 1.11.0, and it comes out with Shanghai support. That's the most important thing. So it's got the architecture for Shanghai stuff in there, but the activation of the fork is not configured. So that's really exciting. So there'll definitely be a few more updates before Shanghai, obviously. And the protocol update with the ability to make withdrawals from the consensus layer. Withdrawals are specified in EIP 4895, beacon chain push withdrawals operation. And then they've got a new database backend. They removed some features that were not used anymore. Backwards incompatible changes. And then there's a whole bunch of new features as well. So like I said, they've made like a whole lot of changes in this. For those of you who use Geth, which I think is the majority of Ethereum stakers, definitely give it a read because it's quite a big change. One thing that's interesting though is that if you are on Geth and if you want to start using the new database system, then you'll have to sync Geth from fresh again, it seems like, because they're changing the database. So it's not just a matter of tweaking it, it's a whole new change. So for that to happen, you might have to go into the rescue node if you're watching this. But this is really great. It's nice to see that client teams are pushing through big changes. It's really exciting. Okay, something that has been really big over the last few months has been Ramana's rocket arb and how that's been tweaked and how that's been used. So what has happened with that is when the premium is high on our ETH on the secondary market, you can start a mini pool and arb that difference and pocket yourself some ETH. And some people were able to pocket up to nearly half an ETH for spinning up mini pools at the right time, which was absolutely amazing. However, the opposite of that will also work in a sense when the deposit pool is empty and there's a discount on the secondary market. Once withdrawals are enabled, you'll be able to withdraw your mini pool from Ethereum staking and then buy our ETH on the secondary market and burn it into the deposit pool as you withdraw from staking. So it's the same kind of arb but in reverse. And the benefit of this will be both of these arbs is that it keeps the price of our ETH on the secondary markets as close to the main price on the Rocket Pool databases as much as possible. So you can arb it when there's a premium by depositing an arb, and then you can do a withdrawal arb when there's a discount. So Jasper made this. Jasper asked this question yesterday about solving for the time gap window to burn, and then Ramana said that he's going to start working on this. But I think there's still some gaps in their understanding of exactly what will happen and when. So once those issues are sorted out, then I think they'll take advantage of how all that works. And I'm really excited to get this in place because I think it will really balance out the Rocket Pool staking, but also with the discount and premium arbs that can come with that, and it will definitely help us fight to keep closer to the peg. The stuff that happened in June with Lido, where they went so far off peg. That kind of stuff hopefully won't be possible anymore, because people will be defending the peg by depositing when there's a premium and withdrawing when there's a discount. So it's really great that this is already starting to be worked on. One of the things that's really interesting is that with 8 ETH of 8 ETH that you deposit as a node operator, you'll be able to arb 24 ETH, whether that's as a premium or as a discount. So the rewards could go up by 50% compared to what they have been if we get those kind of premiums and discounts again. So this is really exciting. I'm glad that the work on this has started already. People are already starting to think about it. Go and follow the thread. It's kind of quieting down a little bit, but there's some really smart people in there kind of like talking through these ideas. So go and give it a read and add some ideas too if you are interested. It's under trading, by the way, and it's called how do we solve for the time gap? So definitely give that a read. Okay, Carl sent out this post yesterday saying the GMC challenge period closed with no community challenges registered, which makes Carl happy. The first part of retroactive payments, approximately 35% of each, will go out in the next day or two. If you received a grant or proposed the bounty, expect your GMC liaison to reach out with you in the next 48 to 72 hours to discuss payment schedule, acceptance criteria, etc. And I am I'm a liaison. And I'm liaising with 2 people, I think. So expect me to reach out to you either today or tomorrow, and we'll try to figure out how to get all this done, which should be good. Yeah, so I'm really glad that first period now is done, and we don't have any challenges. So the retroactive grants have been approved, the bounties have been approved, and the actual grants have been approved as well. And I think there was some rumblings of challenges coming out of the community, and I think what's going to happen is that those people will submit amended grants and retroactive grants for the next reward period, which I think is the smart way of doing it. It takes a little bit longer, but the challenge I feel should be used when you feel like something egregious has happened, and then you have to make your case to the community, and then they vote for it on the snapshot. I don't think anything that has happened has been egregious, but people are well within their rights to go back to the grants committee and ask for more. Whether or not the grants committee will agree with their case is to be seen. But I'm really glad that that's done, and the first grant period is done for the GMC. We've got big changes to the composition of the GMC coming up in the next few days, but this is definitely something to and yeah, because we were voting in new members, but this is definitely something that's put us on the right track. Carl has been absolutely wonderful in the relatively smooth operation of the GMC up to this point, so thank you so much for your work, Carl. Sadly, Carl won't be on the GMC for the next round, so that is a real shame, but it's been really wonderful to work with Cal on the GMC, and honestly, he's been amazing. So that's really, really cool. Okay, so yesterday was the tree gen game, and I call it the oDAO guessing game. I'm not sure exactly what the formal name of it is, but it was rewards night overnight, and what happened was that people guessed the position of the oDAO Merkle tree generation. And Phiz set up a Zoom call that people were watching and kind of streaming along with that, and it was really cool. So in the call, Lighthouse were dropping tree gen performance alpha, and people were kind of making their guesses of who's going to go, and then Hodges is WTF so fast, and then Lighthouse was the first team to get their tree gen in. I think it took less than half an hour to get it in, or 15 minutes or something. Hodges says, I've never seen a tree generated so fast in my life. And then Double Mint says, Lighthouse, nice. So Lighthouse was doing some really cool things because it was their first tree gen since they updated their system. So they did a really cool job with that. So something funny happened was Age Manning came into trading, and he came into trading a little while ago. Let me just see. And when was that? That was... just around midnight. He says, if everything goes right, you should put Lighthouse first, just giving some alpha. So I don't think anyone really listened. Well, I'm not sure who did or didn't listen, but like he says, I did give you a heads up, but Lighthouse was blazing fast, so they came in first. As the votes came in overnight, Phiz was getting really happy because he had himself as first, Lighthouse was second. Then he had Rocket Scientist, who didn't get a place. Sasano came in third, which was really great. And then the 3 of the Rocket Pool teams were coming through, but Phiz was getting points for all of these. So he started to congratulate himself because he did really well. And it ended up being that he says, I worked so hard for this, I'm going to lose next month. But Phiz was showing off his Miss World or Miss Universe pageantry win. So Phiz ended up winning this Trigen competition, which is nice because he's the one who who is giving out the prize. So I guess he didn't have to give out a prize this month, so that's nice. But it's really amazing that like there's such a nice little community that's formed around the Trigen competition. And let me see if I can find the final. Yeah, it's all right. But well, let me see if I can find the final rankings. Actually, I don't think that's the final rankings. I don't remember the name of the website. If I remember it, I'll bring it back to you guys. But that's really cool. So next, Joe shared the front plate for the Proteus that is going to be given away at the build competition, and that's happening, not a competition, sorry, little workshop. So if you attend the workshop, you get entered into a raffle, and the prize for the raffle is a Proteus that I think was either donated by Joe or was bought using grant money, but it's really great. And then he says Rocket Pool decentralized Ethereum staking protocol, and then it says Mercadian underneath it, which is the brand that makes the Proteus. So it's really great that that's gonna be a really nice prize worth around $600 or $650, I think. So it's definitely a good prize for those people who are attending the build workshop for the staking with the Proteus. So that's really cool. So we have the Defiant podcast, the Defiant DeFi podcast, and they gave a nice little section on comparing Rocket Pool and Lido in their latest episode of the podcast. If we
Alex,
have a listen.
That liquid staking tokens rallied after this SEC action because there's the expectation that, okay, if people can't access centralized staking services, they'll go to decentralized ones like Lido and Rocket Pool.
So the person asked, the Rocket Pool and Lido gaining because of centralized staking services getting clamped down on, and then the other person gave a nice answer comparing like things like decentralization, permissionlessness, who is part of the Lido DAO, and gave some good information, spoke about comparing the 2 different protocols for about 5 minutes. So if you want to give that a listen, it's from around minute 17:20 all the way up to about 22 minutes and 30 seconds. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, we had this competition from CoinEmber last week about there was a vote basically about which protocol do you are you feeling bullish on, and then they said the winner will get a blog post on our website. Well, the vote was won by Rocket Pool by 85%. So then CoinEmber wrote a blog post about Rocket Pool. There was a token spotlight, and then it says, well done Rocket Pool for winning this week's Twitter poll, and then give key stats, gives information, some different links, contract addresses, website, Twitter, Reddit, all that kind of stuff. It tells you what Rocket Pool is, about it, and how does it work. It's quite bare on the details, but this might be opening Rocket Pool up to some different audiences, so I thought I would include that in there. One of the things that I want to say is there's a whole lot of these kind of competitions that Rocket Pool wins, and that's partly because of a couple of reasons. One of those is that the intern is really good at Rocket Pool intern is really good at kind of driving engagement towards these polls, and also the community is really well mobilized at kind of going and voting on these things. So that's really cool that we kind of have it together and can really work together to get Rocket Pool out in the crypto mind space as much as possible. So I really like that. Next, we have this really cool thing from Rocknet, who's been working on it kind of quietly, steadily away for the last couple of weeks. He says, so this is basically done. Let me know if there are any suggestions. So what it is this: if you play the video, it's an Amazon Alexa, it's an Amazon Echo device, and Rocknet set it up so it gives you news about Rocket Pool. Let's have a listen.
Flash briefing.
Here's your flash briefing. In Rocket Pool news today, this will be a big week for Rocket Pool. Also, Sassel woke up bullish. ETH Denver is in 15 days. The latest Rocket Fuel video is Rocket Fuel, February 15th, episode 130. As of 23:38 UTC, it has 104 views and covers community space, has some audit news. Marso has new bull predictions, smoothing pool numbers, and more. The latest smart node installer is View 1.7.5. It was
Yeah, so it gives you it's a minute long little news briefing that it gives you about Rocket Pool every day, which is really amazing. I think this Rocknet says it's basically done, but I'm not sure exactly how you can add it to your own daily briefing or something on Amazon Echo or on the Alexa system. He says it's all configurable. Custom news can also be posted with curl or postman if you have the key. I won't ping Magnet now, but I wonder if the team might be interested in this. We wouldn't want to make it too much longer than it is at 1 minute 15 seconds. Someday a custom skill might be needed to answer specific questions. He says he's going to push this out to production tomorrow. Maybe I'm the only one that'll use it, but that's fine. Now I can go back to watching Rocket Fuel and Daily Go instead of working on this. So this is a really cool thing that Rocknet has been working on. There's a thread under trading called RPL Flash Briefing. So pop in there if you want to ask Rocknet about how it works or what it does, and you'll get some good information. It also gives you stats about how many mini pools there are, how many node operators there are, how many were added in the last day, and that kind of stuff. So it's a really nice 1 minute little snippet of what the current state of Rocket Pool, and it also has an integration with Rocket Fuel, so it tells you what the top headlines of that day of the previous episode of Rocket Fuel were. So that's really cool. Thanks Rocknet for putting that together. This morning we had an interesting discussion about the price of the RPL token. Dave82 came into trading and he said, this RPL pump is crazy. Token over $1 billion to cover 675 million USD of ETH. Am I missing something beyond momentum trades piling in? Really wanted to set up a node, but I don't get the upside story. Rocket node still requires command line interface, so 99.999% of people won't solo stake. So this triggered a really interesting conversation that I thought you all might like to get a snippet of. Sadka says, factor in future growth, it doesn't seem so crazy at all. And Philcare says, it's a protocol with more than 2,000 node operators. Show me a layer 1 chain that has such a number. There are very few of them. Smeagol says, if people want to stake, the command line isn't a massive deal. I wasn't particularly good at all the server stuff, but the documentation is really good. That was my experience too. And Dave82 says, I agree, which is the reason I'm here. The guides are good. So then later, there was a really interesting point that was made by Mao. He says, is the valuation crazy though? Is it? He says, how about a 2.3 billion market cap for a pure governance token like LDO, where governance is dominated by VC whales anyway? Your mistake is to think that this market is rational in the first place. RPL is likely one of the most rational buys in an irrational market. So then that kind of spurred on the discussion again. And Rocket Staker says, also the most scarce resource is node operators. The 675 million ETH will expand with LEB 8s and 4s. And Mao says, like a supernova. And then Sheen says, that's the point. If one analyzes RP market cap based on fundamental values, then please do that for 99% of the coins that are above Rocket Pool. And one will see that most of them are vaporware compared to Rocket Pool. One of the points that's really interesting is the 2,000 node operators, I think, is a number that people definitely don't give enough respect to. Now, why am I mentioning this? I've said this before on Rocket Fuel, but I think it's worth mentioning again, is we do not need a single new node operator ETH to come in for Rocket Pool to grow phenomenally huge. Now, what do I mean by that? Right now, we have nearly 13,000 mini pools of 16 ETH. If when Atlas goes live, if all of those went to LEB8s, then we would have double the amount, 26,000 validators, right? But the ETH amount would stay the same. We wouldn't be adding a single new operator ETH, but the total TVL of staked ETH would double, because we'd be 3 times more efficient at lifting our ETH. And then with LEB4s, that would double again to 52,000 validators that would be running on Rocket Pool, without adding a single new node operator ETH. That is, right? We'd have 52,000 validators, and that is because our ETH supply would double again, because it would be 7 times more efficient than it is now. So with LEB2s, without adding a single new node operator ETH, we would go to over 100,000 validators without adding a single new node operator ETH. That is because our ETH would be 15 times more efficient than it is now. So we could go to over 3 million ETH, in total value locked, without adding a single new node operator ETH. And I think a lot of people don't actually fully understand that. And this really is the case of going like a supernova in the very, very in the short term. With Atlas, it's going to double. And then with the upgrade after that, hopefully when we go to LEB4s, it will double again, which is truly like astronomical growth in the space of hopefully 6 or 8 months. I'm hoping maybe a year. But this is definitely an interesting discussion about where the value of RPL comes from. And it was interesting about the value secured in TVL compared to the market cap of the token. What's really interesting though is because RPL has recently broke 1 billion in market cap as the token itself, and the Rocket Pool protocol recently broke 1 billion in terms of total value locked. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of correlation there between the TVL of the protocol kind of going in lockstep, or the market cap of RPL being in lockstep with the TVL of the protocol. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. But yeah, this was an interesting discussion that came up. So I thought I'd highlight it for you all. And finally, I'm going to end this episode on some news that came out from Diets, who I'm very sad to say got hacked yesterday. When the news first came out, Diets thought that it was through the Rocketeers Discord channel that he clicked on a link, and then that led to him losing 1,728 RPL and 10 RETH. Yeah, he thought it was the Rocketeers Discord, but it turns out that it was in the secret project Discord. It seemed like the Discord channel got hacked. A malicious poster pasted a link to a compromised website on the announcements thread. Diets clicked it, signed a transaction on that website because I think he thought it was an airdrop. Signed a transaction and got his wallet wiped. So in the beginning, people were kind of figuring out, like, what did you click on? Like, was it the Rocketeers website or was it something else? And it turns out it was secret project. But still, the case remains. Please be careful on what you click and how you interact with websites that you're not sure of. You could lose everything. I have multiple wallets, and the wallet that I use for day-to-day transactions, whack-whack-attack.eth, only has like a very small amount of ETH in there for gas and a small amount of RPL in there, but it's very limited in amounts of crypto that I hold on that wallet that I interact with. For my cold wallet, I never sign any transactions. The only thing I do with that is send transactions in and out, and I do that through my wallet itself. So please practice good hygiene. Separate out your wallets. It's free to start a new wallet. Like, it's really easy. Please be careful, because this would not be good. And people like Denim were saying, why would you connect your main wallet as well? So yeah, it's really sad when things like this happen. That's like over $100,000 worth of crypto that Diet's lost. So it's I'm really sorry if this sounds harsh, but that's a very, very expensive lesson, and we'll all be smart to learn the lesson from Diet's mistake instead of having to learn it directly ourselves. So please be cautious. There's a lot of scams going around, and even people who've been in the crypto market for a long time and have a lot invested in crypto are, it's possible for them to get burned as well. So this is, sadly, it's a market that punishes mistakes really strongly. So it's best to try to avoid to make the mistakes to begin with instead of getting caught in that. So yeah, this is a sad bit to end the episode on today, and my heart goes out to Diets, but please learn from his mistake. So thank you everyone for watching Rocket Fuel and listening to it today. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode, and then it'll be the weekend. But I might also put out a weekly recap episode tomorrow. I'm really excited about doing that. So all of you have a lovely day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.